Hi there, this is Sue Stapp. I'm here to share with you the August paper pumpkin. And I've got the box all opened up, and I just want to kind of go through some of the things that they're showing on here. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you some alternatives that I have chosen to do with these card parts, kit parts. Okay, so this card makes 8 cards, full size A2, and it has coordinating envelopes that goes with it. And there you can see the cards with forget-me-nots, and this one with the lotus flower on it. It's called Meaningful Flowers, and as you will recall, there's a full instruction page in here. This is the month it's in color, and this shows you the 2 different cards that we'll be completing. And it has on the back some alternative options, but it also has the kit components and coordinating Stampin' Up! Colors. And I was talking with one of my customers today, and we were talking about how important it is to have coordinating colors. And the best sales pitch I can give you about Stampin' Up! Is our colors and markers and blends and stamp pads and designer series paper all coordinate. We also have accessories like sequins and dots, and we have ribbons that coordinate. So you can have your cards match up and give that professional look. So it's a big plus, and like I say, I think it's one of our most important selling points. So let me show you what these parts look like. The 2 cards, and they give you some beautiful background on this. This is one of them, and again, you get 4 of those. And then the lotus one is in purple, and that has a full card front too. And then the back of it explains the lotus flower, and the other one, the back talks about the forget-me-not flower. So this is our beautiful color, and this is probably our Orchid Oasis, it's called, and it's just gorgeous. The stamp pad color that we have, this color, every month they give you a little Stampin' Spot, and that's a miniature version of our full-size stamp pads with that color on it. And every month, like I said, you'll get a different color. It's great to pass those along or to keep them for your own stash. The Orchid Oasis and the Lotus Flower has a vellum on here that has you can see it's purple and green, both the colors, Orchid Oasis and Pretty Peacock. Now there's also some cutouts, punch-outs in here, and it has the lotus. Now these are ones you don't even have to stamp. They're just made up for you. There's 5 of those, and then there's 4 of the forget-me-nots. So that's a nice plus. However, you do get the stamp. Look at this beautiful lotus stamp. And this is one of our photopolymer stamps. It's a clear photopolymer. You can see through it, and it does have some layering you can do, and it really does help to be able to see through the stamps on those particular kind. We have a packet of our Stampin' Dimensionals, which is our shaped sponge adhesives that give height to your card on any particular item that you put it on. You can see that's the thickness of it. It's a 2-sided stick, so you have you can put that on, like if you wanted to put this on your card and you want it to set up above the card, you would use the dimensionals. And this also has the clear epoxy dots, and this is just one of the type of dots that we have, and it is a self-adhesive one, and there's 2 different sizes on here. And then there's a second stamp set this month, and that has the forget-me-not stamps on it. And then there's a couple sentiments. It says, "You are capable of amazing things." And then it says, "Your friendship is unforgettable." The third one says, you rise above the rest. And then this looks like it's maybe a lily pad. I'm not 100% sure on that. But that's what it looks like to me. So that's what I'm going to tell you. There's some banners here that are pre-cut for you and punched out. And then there's also my favorite twine, or linen thread it's called. And I love putting these on my cards. It just adds a little something something to it. It's not a big, heavy, bulky thing, but it's a dainty look. And then this is our tear and tape. Now, tear and tape is a stronger adhesive than our normal tape runners or even liquid glue. Tear and tape is, I use that on a lot of my cards that have movement because it'll stay in place a lot longer and withstand all that movement. Now, I mentioned before, you're going to get 8 envelopes too, and even the envelopes are decorated so beautifully. So they have the forget-me-nots on the outside and they have this inside. And you'll see whenever I show you my alternatives, what I do is I cut apart some of those cards and use them for the alternatives. And this is the other card that has the lotus on the front, and then on the inside of it is the lily pads. So I'm going to zip away for now, and I will be back with some alternatives on this same video. So stay tuned. It won't take long. I'll try and get back to you before the end of today. If not, I'll have it tomorrow, and I will put the YouTube video out there for everyone to catch up on. I do have an announcement though. One of my customers was so nice to let me know that my website, SueStapp.com, was not working. So I checked into it and it apparently has expired and someone else bought it. So I'm switching to SueStapp.net. So if you go on SueStapp.com, it's going to say it's out of service, which it is, and I'm not going to succumb to tracking down who owns it and try and buy it from and all that stuff when SueStapp.net works just as good. So I'll give you one reminder. My email is SueStapp1@gmail.com, and you can shop my 24/7 store online at SueStapp.stampinup.net. So I'll have this changed by the time we get together next time, and I'll have some great alternatives for you. Please stay tuned. Hi again, this is Sue Stapp with you. I have made some alternative cards for this Stampin' Up! Kit that was the month of August, and that was called Meaningful Flowers, and it highlighted forget-me-nots and water lilies. And I want to show you the 2 cards that they suggested, which if you make this, you could make 4 of each. So there's 8. This kit contains 8 cards. Now I did add this tag in here. I thought it needed something besides just plain. The other one is a fold over and it says your friendship is unforgettable, the same tag that I put on this one. This uses the vellum that's colored and has design on it, so it makes a cute pocket. I think putting something in there was a good idea to show that off. And I cut apart a couple of the envelopes, which I showed you earlier. And so I did go ahead, and there is a stamp with the forget-me-not on it, and I stamped it on the back and the front. I like to stamp the envelopes. If it's, me creating, I like to have coordinating envelopes. So those are the 2 that were in the kit that you could make. And these are some alternative options I came up with. This is one that uses the forget-me-nots, and it says, you rise above the rest. And I think these are kind of almost motivational. It might be good for a graduate, someone who's just completed their schooling. You rise above the rest. So that's one. And then the other one, I cut out the explanation for the flower and what it entails. And then I heat embossed the white water lily onto the purple paper or orchid paper. So that is what that one is. The second one is just a note card, and this is the Forget-Me-Not bouquet that's part of the kit. And what I ended up doing was cutting a piece of yellow. I used a piece of yellow and a piece of pink on my extras. And the rest is just stuff from the card kits. And I still have several cards to make from the kits. This is one, I thought this turned out pretty. It says, "Your friendship is unforgettable." And it uses the bright pink. And this one is a little fun fold. It says, "You are capable of amazing things." Again, one of those great sentiments that could be used for a graduate, or someone who's just going into school, or someone who has decided to do a technical school. I mean, amazing things. There's amazing things in all we do. So you are capable of amazing things, and it opens up with a big area for you to write a note in. And then this one, I took the piece from the flap of the one card that has the Forget-Me-Nots, and I took the Forget-Me-Not stamp, and I just stamped a couple of them around there. And then I colored them in with my Stampin' Blends. And it says, "Your friendship is unforgettable." And this is on one of the yellow card backgrounds. And this goes back to "You rise above the rest," and it's the Daylily floral. And I believe that's the piece from the envelope. It's just so pretty. And then this one is, I used the pink and the yellow, and I thought that they look so good together with this Daylily, because the yellow here just brings out the yellow there. And the pink, of course, coordinates there. "You are capable of amazing things." Now this one, I went to my go-to greetings. You know, I've got to use those go-to greetings. I just love that stamp set. This one says, "Thinking of you." And here's another one that has the lotus flower that says, "You are capable of amazing things." So I got all of those with a couple pieces of cardstock, halves of cardstocks actually. And I still have the stamps that I can use anytime. Beautiful stamps. I still have some of the tear and tape left over. And these are all my extra pieces that I can still make cards from. This is that vellum. I think that looks so pretty. A scrap of the blue, a couple water lilies. Now on this one I did stamp the "You are capable of amazing things," but I thought it looked too busy on the card that I was designing at that time, so I decided not to put that on. But it will go on another card. Two of the Forget-Me-Not bouquets. This is a piece, one of the envelope pieces that I had cut. And I think the green is so pretty because it's variegated almost. And I think that would be good for a card that had plants on it. I might even bring that in and make a card out of those two. But this is a piece, this is the inside of the Forget-Me-Not card, and it has the explanation on the back of what it is. This is the whole card that I can still use. And this is another of the envelope pieces for the Forget-Me-Nots. And I do have the envelopes. This is that Forget-Me-Not paper, and this goes there. You can see it does have it already stamped on the front there. The lotus has the lotus on the front, and then it has the lily pads on it. And that's in that pretty peacock color, so I could use that on anything. And I have 4 of those. I didn't use any of those, I guess. And then these are the other 2 envelopes that had those Forget-Me-Nots on it. So really, I mean, I could probably make 20 more cards out of this. This would come out of the bottom of this piece. You could use the top. There's just a lot of things that you can still do, even using just this piece here. So it's fun at this point. I like to see how creative I can get in making some of these cards. And, you know, you can do some fun folds. You can mix in just regular cards. But I think that the chance you have to make beautiful cards with a simple kit and a stamp pad that you get is just phenomenal. It's the best bargain. I tell all of my customers, especially new beginners, because you can start collecting these Stampin' Spots. They're going to last for years. And you'd have that, you wouldn't have to buy the stamp pad. If you wanted coordinating cardstock, you could buy just the cardstock or the blends. But it is a great tool for you to use, whether you're a beginner or been stamping for years like I have. So I hope you enjoyed this. Again, if you're interested in any Stampin' Up! Merchandise, you can go to my Stampin' Up! Website, which is a store that's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, suestapp.stampinup.net, or you can email me anytime at suestapp1@gmail.com. And my website that I'm putting together that will be up and running soon is suestapp.net. So hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, write me. I'd love to hear from you. Or if you make alternatives that you'd like to show me, I'd love to see them. And in the meantime, happy stamping. Enjoy your time and your creativity. Thank you.